Hi, my name is JeanAnn St. Grace, and I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel. This has been a long time in coming, just drawing together the information and the videos and everything. You can find a number of things here. There are shorts related to my podcast, Rekindling Ancient Wisdom, which is on all the major podcast players. So if you'd like to check that out, I encourage you to do so. There will be links in the comments to get there. Also, I work with people who are in some kind of transition in their life. A lot of times I work with people who are experiencing a grief journey. They've lost somebody that they love, or their life has suddenly changed in a way that is challenging them, and they're not sure what to make of it, and they need a trusted advisor or a guide to help them navigate that change or challenge. The purpose of what I do is really to help people to get to know themselves. And often when we find ourselves in a challenge, when we've experienced a loss, whether it's the death of somebody that we love or are very close to, or we lose a job or find ourselves getting a divorce, then a lot of life starts to kind of go into a tailspin because one loss triggers thinking of my life doesn't make sense now without that person or this thing in it, and I don't know how to make sense of that. A lot of times we are trying to find sense in the senseless. There's meaning behind everything that happens to us in our lives, and it's so important that we don't see a challenge or a loss as a meaningless act. There is always a deeper meaning. There's always a lesson to be learned. And sometimes you need help decoding that. Sometimes it's hard to see our own patterns, and we need an outside source to get some eyes on it. There are a number of tools that I use to do that, to help people. It may not be a direct effort to read a chart or something like that, but the charts that I use, the soul path numerology, the soul human design, the gene keys, and then also a little bit of astrology to help people find out what's really at play and where can we find the lessons, because a lot of times those charts will illuminate the path. You may not be interested in a complete reading. You may not want or care to know your chart. You may just want to know what's going on and why am I experiencing this and how do I move through it. And that's valid. That is absolutely valid. I do usually like to start with people with their soul path numerology because that's usually a really good indicator of their life's journey and where they're going. But not everybody's interested in that. And my clients are always driving the bus. They're always the ones making the decision of how their money is spent and how our time is spent to make sure that they're getting the best of what they need. And that's really my job. My job is to be here and to help you find the answers to the questions that you have. And whatever way we get there, I don't really care, quote unquote. I don't care how we get there, just that we get you to a place of more clarity. And the there's a little bit of story in my branding. My branding, if you see my logo, is a shield, but it's also a compass. And so the shield is there to help people know that I will stand with them. I will fight with them to get them the information that they need and deserve and to find the pathway that is theirs. Um, the symbols on the shield are also meaningful to me. They are the Leo symbol because I am a Leo. I'm a Leo from top to bottom. And I love the lion, the Leo energy. It's very powerful, it's very dynamic, it's very catalyzing. It can seem ferocious at first, but if you're being protected by it, if I'm standing beside a client helping them to face some of the toughest things that they've been facing, don't you want Leo standing next to you, a lion to stand there and be your guard and be your protector as you move through a challenging journey? And then the wings are the wings of spirit, the wings of an angel, Archangel Michael specifically, who's a warrior angel. He is the right hand of God, the sword of justice. And I feel that calling in Archangel Michael anytime um, we are faced with a challenge, he will help find a way for us to move through that. And then we have the symbol for Pluto. Pluto is the planet of life and death. It carries the lessons of beginnings and endings. And so, if I'm here to help people move through not only the challenges of death itself, but the deaths of careers, the deaths of marriages, the deaths of futures, then isn't it important that we call Pluto in and we ask for the energy of Pluto to help us to clarify and to be present with us while we find that journey together. And lastly, the the what looks like links of chain in the soul path numerology is the representation of the number seven. And seven is a number of completion. It's a sacred number. And it's also in the Hebrew alphabet, the letter Zayin. And Zayin is sometimes said Zion, but I like Zayin because Zayin is the sword or the weapon. Zayin is the sword of truth that sometimes we have to poke into the owie spaces to find out exactly what we're looking at. So we have to cut away all the chatter. We have to cut away any blocks, any places or any things that aren't serving us to get to our truth. And so you'll also see there's a sword behind me. The sword is the sword of truth. The sword is the thing that cuts away um, anything that is preventing us from being our most authentic selves. And there's nothing more important than that to me. It's so important that we're each being our authentic selves, that we find freedom in that, and that we begin to create heaven on earth for not only ourselves, but as we model that, help others find it as well. So that is my purpose in being here. I work with people in a number of ways. Everything that I do is done via Zoom just because it's an easy way to create a record. It makes distance not a problem. We can work wherever either one of us are, and that removes a lot of limitations. It also makes the sessions recordable, so they become evergreen sources of information and energy. And if I create a custom meditation or visualization, then we also have an audio of that that can be downloaded and used later. All of my clients have access to their personal videos so that they can go back and pull out their charts, pull out the video and go back through it to see and find the deeper meanings, or to just refresh their memories if they might have missed something, if emotions were running high, or if they just want to revisit. It's a great resource to have. So I work in that way for a very specific reason, not because I don't want to be close to my clients, but because it creates a lot of ease. People are always going to be more comfortable in their own space. A lot of times when we're doing this kind of work, they might feel really tired afterwards, and having to get in a car and drive home isn't always the best thing for them. So, to be able to work with somebody in their own space, I'm in my own space. I have all my tools handy, and then to have my clients in their own space and feel comfortable and confident that they're in a safe space and being supported energetically by me is what works. So the the funny thing about me is that people often ask me, what do I do? And the truth is, I do what the person in front of me needs. If you need guidance, if you need clarity, if you need any of an abundance of things, if you need to find the truth about a situation or the deeper meaning in it, it's my job to guide you there. I am here to help. I am here to guide. I am not here to tell you anything except let's look in this direction and see what we find. And if that direction doesn't serve us, we'll find another direction. It is my job to get you feeling better. It is my job to get you to more clarity about a situation or about yourself. And that is what I do, is I help people find clarity and I help people find their direction. But the person in front of me is always the person who is directing they're choosing their own direction, they're finding their own way, and I am just here to guide. I'm here to open up ideas. I'm here to see pattern and to to give perspective. A lot of times when we're going through a challenge, we're either in survival mode or we're completely shut down and we don't know which way to turn. And I am here to help people find their way. So I hope this is informative. I hope this helps. There's going to be a few more videos about my process and how I work and why I do things a certain way. It just helps to give a little bit of clarity more than anything else. It comes across, I think, a lot better in video than it does in writing. So there'll be a series of videos of how, why, and where, and then there's some informational videos. There's videos about the work that I do, the soul path numerology, the human design, the gene keys. If any of that interests you, I might have blurbs from the podcast video, snippets from the podcast to clarify a position or to open up a discussion. But I always invite discussion. I invite questions. I am by no means the end all be all of anything, but I like to explore ideas with people and I like to find new ways of helping others and dedicate myself to doing that to the best of my ability. So I hope you look more deeply through the channel. If you're moved to work with me, we'll do some kind of a beginning consult, whether that's via video chat or a phone call or even through text or messaging. We can do all of that. I just always want people to feel very comfortable the moment we step into a working space so that we're ready to go, that once money is being exchanged, that you're getting value for that and the time is well spent and focused on the work that we need to do for you and not on like the bookkeeping end or the the getting to know you side. So thank you so much again for being on the channel. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm always here to help and answer questions. So have a blessed day. Thank you so much.